Yes, glad to be home. Good to be home, and I know our guys are glad to be back. It seemed like we've been on the road for 2 months now, and what we want to try to do is come and make our home court a special place, um, a hard place for other teams to come in and play.
I know divisions don't mean much anymore, but the Atlantic had been one of the worst divisions, the worst division in the NBA for the last few years, and now, right now, it's the best with a few of the most improved teams in the league. You've been talking about this for a few years now. You sort of saw this trend coming. What have you seen from a few of these teams, especially Brooklyn, in terms of improvement this
Well,
season?
one thing with Brooklyn, just talking about the NBA trends, the style of play, they're really embracing that as far as pace of play, shooting a three, drive, kick, swing type mentality. They've really, they do a good job of it. I know a lot of teams are talking about Houston. They don't shoot it as well as Houston, but they have that style of play. So I think that's what you're seeing in this. And the New York team is improved, especially in New York. And, of course, we know what Boston's doing. So our division is, again, like you said, there's not a lot of talk about winning the division anymore, but there's some good teams. And I would say throughout the East. The East is far more talented than people, especially in the States, are talking about the West and how exciting the Western Conference is. But I would, for argument's sake, is talk about how good teams and style of play the teams have established in the Eastern Conference.
So what do you make of the job that Sean Marks has done there, coming in without draft picks to work with? It seems like they're ahead of where a lot of people thought they'd be right now.
I think he's done a heck of a job. If you look at Okafor and Stauskas, I don't know where they were drafted in the draft, but he basically got those picks back. And they're slowly but surely putting a good program together. They're establishing an identity, a style of play that's very important in this league. More so when you're starting with a young team, they're playing hard defensively, offensively. They're doing that, and slowly and surely they're going to climb. And it's sort of like what we did here, as far as starting out with a defensive identity first, and now slowly but surely trying to come around to the offensive way. But establishing a style of play is very important with a young team.
Serge has been playing great lately, obviously shooting the ball at a high rate. What else are you seeing from him that's making him so effective?
Well, his rebounding. I think his rebounding has been unbelievable, whether it's keeping balls alive, tapping them out, maybe not getting credit for the rebound, but keep getting in there, mixing it up, using his size and strength and his athleticism in the paint. And that's something he wasn't doing early, but he's doing a great job now. Some of it is when he goes to the five, but also, too, I've seen him venture down in there when he's playing the four. And some of that is matchup driven with the bigger fours, but a lot of it is just him going down there, getting in the mix, rebounding, blocking shots, or being a deterrent, and guys going there looking for him. It's been really effective for it, as much as his scoring has been.
When Mari left town, he kind of made some comments about the way you guys played offensively in terms of spacing, cutting opportunities, things like that. You guys are playing a little bit more like that this year. I mean, would he have been a good fit on how you're playing this year?
Again, I'm not going to get into what Damari thought, what he said. I know our offense was in the top 5 last year. He can be critical all he wants, but that's his opinion. We've established a style of play, and I know our style of play is the way we have to play, and whether he could fit or not, I'm not going to get into that, Mike. But again, he has his opinions, and unfortunately, they came out negative. I don't know if he meant them in a negative way or not, but we feel like we have one of the top programs in the NBA. And are we perfect? No program is, but I know that our program, our style of play is productive. It's established an identity of way the league is playing. And I think our guys enjoy playing here, being in Toronto. And if he didn't want to be a part of that, then that's his prerogative.
When you see Norman, he's going through some of these slumps, and he's on the floor, and he's looking uncomfortable, and kind of. Where do you err on letting him play through it versus we gotta we gotta get someone in there?
A little bit of both, Michael. We let him play through it in Phoenix, and again, young players go through it. We talked about it before the season even started. As an organization, we knew the young player was going to be up and down, And everybody's making a big deal about the second unit now, but for me and our coaching staff, we expected it. It's hard for young players to come in this league, especially on the road, to play at a high level and be as efficient as they've been. They've been playing at a high level. So again, it's up to us to let them play through it, try to help them by sprinkling in some veteran players. We did that a little bit in Phoenix to help them out a little bit. But again, it's not unexpected, and I don't think we should, call it the Titanic or anything like that and panic. It's part of the growth process of being a young team. I mean, they're a young group of players and Norm is in that group. And so, we're not panicking. We want him to play well, and we're going to let him play through some of it. But it's, as an individual player, he's going to have to, see what he's doing. Coach is working with him, seeing it on film, and work his way through it, and maybe buy him some time to sit and watch a little bit. I don't know, but I think a little bit of both. Let him play through some of it and let him watch through some of it.
He makes references about making the right reads, and what does that mean to you, and where does he struggle in that area?
My number one thing with any player, not just Norm, any young player that's struggling, play hard, run the floor hard, sprint back on defense hard. Definitely compete on the defensive end first. The offense stuff is up and down. But if you do the other things hard on the other end, the offense will take care of itself. I'm not worried about reads, offensive reads. I'm worried about defensive reads, because I've found that young players, if they get the job done on the defensive end and say, oh, okay, this is okay, then the time is going to be extended. They're going to be out there longer. They'll get a chance to have those reads on the offensive end. But I think too many times we put too much emphasis on what a young player is doing offensively, and I think it's, the attention's put in the wrong place.
DeMar's a guy that would have gone through a lot of the same ups and downs as Norm is going through now, same position, some similar skills and similar work ethic. How much do you think it's helped to sort of have him to pick his brain and work with?
Good, because DeMar went through in his younger years, first 3 years when we were here, he went through some of the similar things. And once DeMar picked it up a little bit on the defensive end, and Norm is a better defender than DeMar was at the same stage of his career. So, that's something. But having a veteran around like DeMar, who's had the ups and downs to talk to, has to be an extreme help. But again, just go out and play. Don't press, don't panic. But one thing you can do is control your defensive focus, your run backs. If I'm guarding a dynamic shooter, I know I'm going to do my best to not let him catch the ball and work and understand where he is in transition. Those are things you can control. You can't control sometimes whether you have the yips of fumbling the ball or shooting the ball or whatever it is. But I can damn sure control my running effort and attention to detail on the defensive end and know where I should be in certain situations, and that's for all young players to understand when they are having a slump, go back to the basics defensively.
Coach, I don't think many people predicted Brooklyn to be playing this well, especially with the injuries they've had. Shows how much people know about predictions, but why are they so successful, even with the injuries they've battled?
Hard play, and they play hard on both ends of the floor. They bust through DHOs. Offensively, they run the floor. Their pace is number 2 in the league in pace. They get up, probably one of the top teams at getting up threes. I don't know what their percentages are, but they have established a style of play offensively and defensively that's hard to compete against or hard to play against. And, as players improve, they get better talent in. That's one reason they have the uptick. And that's why they're hard to play against, because you got to go out and bring your hard hat against this team and can't look at their record or say, oh, it's Brooklyn. No, they're going to come in and make it hard for you, and that's what I told our team this morning. We can't come in and assume that, okay, we got Brooklyn. No, they're going to come in and make you compete at a high level for 48 minutes.
Have Dwane or Lucas progressed at all?
Lucas, both of them have progressed. Not sure. Probably we'll see how Dwane feels this weekend or tonight or this weekend. And Lucas, both of them have done a good job of rehabbing and coming along.